Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of the No Hedging Podcast. I am your host, Ty the Jet Franklin, and we are here with Division Talk. We're about to talk about the NFC West. All right, we're going to wrap up the NFC conference and talk about the NFC West. So, for all you Seattle Seahawks fans, you 49ers fans, you Cardinals fans, and your Ram fans, this is the episode for you. Make sure you hit that like button, you comment below, and you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date for the new episodes that are dropping every single week. All right, man. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about the NFC West. My thoughts on the NFC West. To begin with the NFC West, they have a pretty tough schedule. All of the teams, all right? They are facing teams from the NFC East, and they are facing teams from the AFC North, all right? So you're talking about top-tier quarterbacks they're about to be facing. You got Joe Burrow, you got Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones. Yes, I said it, Daniel Jones. You'll be facing Daniel Jones. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, okay? I said it, mark my words. And you got teams with defenses like the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be tough sledding for these NFC West teams in terms of the schedule. But nevertheless, I feel like some of these NFC West teams can compete based off of their roster, their coaching, and what they've done in the past. Except for the Arizona Cardinals, all right? And we're going to start with those guys. So those birds might be the worst team in the NFL right now, the worst ran team in the NFL right now, the most dysfunctional. They have a lot of issues going on, Kyler Murray issues. He's out for, they put him on a PUP list, so he's out for about four games, the first 4 games they say. I feel that he's probably not going to come back until mid-October-ish, around there. But they also cut Colt McCoy, which was his backup. There's signs that this team is tanking. And we all know the Arizona Cardinals are not afraid to move off of a top pick to get another top pick, especially in the quarterback position. They did that with Josh Rosen years ago to get Kyler Murray, and it looks like they're trying to do the same thing with Kyler Murray to get Caleb Williams. But who's going to pay for that Kyler Murray contract? That's going to be the question, coming up here soon if that's what they plan on doing. Outside of that, they still have players on their team that I like. They have James Conner, the running back there. They have Hollywood Brown. I like him. On the defensive side, they still have Buda Baker. So they have some kind of pieces there that I like a little bit. Outside of that, I don't see them competing for the top seed or the top of that division. All right, they just don't have enough talent. Don't even know who the coach is right now. Anyways, I think it's a first-year coach. They got rid of the coach from last year. So they have a lot of dysfunction going on in that organization right now that I have zero confidence that they're going to do anything this upcoming season, especially with the teams that they're facing this year on their schedule. Let's move into the next team. We got the Los Angeles Rams. All right, so you Rams fans, I like the Rams this season in a bounce-back way. They had a lot of injuries last year. Matt Stafford was hurt. Aaron Donald was hurt. Obviously, after the Super Bowl they won, it was a down year, down season. I look at that as like an outlier. Matt Stafford is the best quarterback in the division, so they have the best quarterback in the division. Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the division. They have the best receiver in the division, and they also still have Aaron Donald, which is the best defensive player in the division. So Hall of Famer on the field, can't nobody deny that. So when you have those three elements right there, and you still have Sean McVay, coach, and you have Cam Akers, your running back, you have those elements still in place. I think they have a slightly bounce back season this year. You have the number one quarterback in the division. You always have a shot to win and to come out on top and to take your team to the playoffs. We're not talking about a rookie here. We're talking about Matt Stafford, been in the league. He's won the Super Bowl. So he's a vet. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to manage that offense. So, yeah, I'm a little bullish on the Rams this season, but I still believe they may finish probably third in the division because the other two teams are pretty good, all right? Let's go to the team that I feel is going to finish second in this division. I believe that the Seattle Seahawks will finish second in this division and end up being a wild card team in the NFC as a whole. Now, Seattle, they have a great team. It's young, and they have a good coach, right? So the culture is there. They have everything they need. Last season, everybody wrote Seattle off. They ended up going to the playoffs with Geno Smith. Geno Smith went nuts out of nowhere, throwing 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, right? They still have DK Metcalf. They still have Tyler Lockett. They drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? Their defense is young, right? They brought back Bobby Wagner to be that leader in the defense, or the nucleus of the defense. So they have some DBs around, right? So they have the team that can compete and battle in this division, and they also have the team that can compete in the battle with any team in the NFL, right? Now, one question that I do have is Geno Smith, right? Was that an outlier? Is that something that he can do again, right? Because this is the first time we've seen Geno Smith do good, and he's been in the league for about 10 years, right? So that's the only question that I have about the Seattle Seahawks. But ultimately, if Pete Carroll has confidence in Geno Smith, right, then we gotta roll with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is one of the best coaches in the NFL and has been for a while. So I feel like the Seattle Seahawks are going to be a wild card team. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to finish number 2 in that division. But like I said before, they play some really tough teams. The beginning of their schedule is pretty good. They can probably win 3 games out of the first four. So, a lot of their games are 50-50 ultimately. So, each game is going to be close. They're going to have to battle it out. And we're going to see what the Seattle Seahawks have and see if they can run it back like they did last season, especially with these new additions that they got back on their team. That takes us to number 1, winning the division, taking that NFC West divisional title, the San Francisco 49ers, man. So we all know the 49ers have been having a lot of issues with the quarterback, with Trey Lance. They got rid of him to silence all the bullshit, and they went ahead and named Brock Purdy as the starter. Now, a lot of people aren't too high on Brock Purdy because he is Mr. Irrelevant, right? He was the last pick in the draft last year, but he ended up showing out last season time and time and time and time again. And there's questions if the Eagles would have beaten the 49ers if Brock Purdy didn't get injured, right? So the 49ers is one of those teams, top team in the NFL, no matter what. They always have good defense. They have Kyle Shanahan, a great offensive coordinator with his scheme. They got Deebo Samuels. They got Brandon Ayuk, right? They have Christian McCaffrey, right? They have George Kittle. So this team is high-powered offensively as well as defensively. They have so much talent with Nick Bosa over there. They got the DBs, the secondary, right, the linebackers. So this team is one of those teams that's going to probably reign NFC West champion once again, as long as Brock Purdy can stay healthy and do what he needs to do. What I've seen from Brock Purdy, I believe that he is the guy for the 49ers. He understands that offense. He knows when to let it rip. He knows his checkdowns. He knows his reads, right? He didn't make too many mistakes during his time as the starter last season. So I believe Brock Purdy is the guy. I am glad that the 49ers got rid of Trey Lance to get that pressure off of their organization and to focus on moving forward. And they found out that Trey Lance was not the guy. They owned up to it and got him out of the building, and there's nothing wrong with that. Shout out to the 49ers for that. That's what good organizations do. They understand where they fuck up, and they fix it, right, and they get rid of it. So I think the 49ers are going to take this NFC West title once again and end up going to the playoffs once again. That's it for this episode of Division Talk. That's the NFC West. Like I said, number 1, 49ers. Number 2, Seattle Seahawks. Number 3, the LA Rams. And number 4, obviously, the Arizona Cardinals, man. So that's it for this one. Stay tuned for the next one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I see you on the next episode. We out.